Hello, welcome to another Yeldy Battle Eps 40k report. 2,000 points this time, Tempest of War again, my Imperial Knights on their medieval night world, and the Deathguard are invading. Check out the armies. Okay, here's my Knight house again. I'm using House Tyrannus this time, rather than I usually use Raven. Don't normally use Raven. Yeah, I'm using Tyrannus this time. So Tyrannus' special rule is that basically get 6+, feel no pain against non-mortal wounds. It's Questa Mechanicus. So Mechanicus means these have 2 extra wounds and they have 1 extra wound, just generally. And they all restore 1 wound at the beginning of each turn. My Warlord, my Warden, apologise for the coughing again. Wyzzywigs, who got Melter, Avenged Gatling Cannon, Clean Sword, and Ironstone Rocket Pod. The Avenged Gatling Cannons and all these aren't going to be great against Deathguard, unfortunately, because of damage 2, but these are the knights I've got, so that's what I've got. Warlord traits, she's got Iron Bulwark as the Warlord trait, which is a 4+ invuln against shooting, and then she's got Sanctuary, which is a 4+ invuln against in melee, and then I've upgraded her with Master of Vox. This means she can give any armature on the battlefield her bondsman ability, which makes them count as 10 models for objectives, which could be useful. 2 Crusaders, they're almost Wyzywig, apart from that's a melter. So Thermal Cannon, Avenged Gatling Cannon, Heavy Battle Cannon, whatever it's called, and Avenged Gatling Cannon, and Storm Spear, and Icarus Autocannons on top. And then 3 armatures, 2 Helgrims, which you've seen lots before, and they are Wyzywig this time. They are Stubbers this time. But I got my new Warglaive. Yeah, base isn't done. Damn it! I ran out of Martian Iron Crust to do his base before I could do it. It's really annoying, but never mind. And that's got a Melter as well. And that is it. That is exactly, I think exactly 2,000 points of Knights. I forgot to add for my chivalric code, for my oaths, I'm taking Defend the Realm this time, which is I gain a point if I'm holding more objective markers than my opponent, lose them if I'm holding less than I did at the start of my turn. That's fairly easy to not lose points and I can gain them. And for that, I get an additional CP in my turn, which is pretty good. And then I'll cover that if I get to it. And I'm doing Protect Those in Need again. I normally do this one. The other ones I think are quite difficult to not lose. To either like this one, it's hard to gain. Got to kill 2 things in melee, which is not easy for mine. So for this one, if I perform Heroic Intervention, I get a point. Or if I charge a model that's already engaged, I get a point. And then I have to do a Heroic Intervention and I have to do a charge. So basically, it's again not kind of difficult to do really. And then for that, I get better Heroic Intervention, and I can use bonds and abilities more than once, but not that exciting, that one. It doesn't happen very much, but it's basically one that's hard to lose the point, which is kind of what I'm going for. Because the other ones are like not falling back, or if less than 2 enemy units were destroyed, which is a bit mad to get Deathguard. So, yeah, Defend the Realm and Protect Those in Need. Okay, and here's 2,000 points of Deathguard. Where are we starting, Phil?
Okay, we're a battalion, and we are Mortarian's Anvil. And the Warlord is the Demon Prince. He has the sword and 1 claw. And Warlord trait, Gloaming Blow, and a Relic Insect Hive.
Which do...
One's reroll hits and wounds. I can't remember what kind of range it goes. And the others... Oh, this must be the Warlord trait. If you're in contagion range, you can't fire Overwatch or set to defend.
Okay.
And you can't reroll hits or wounds, or possibly both. I'll check.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the characters you've got, is that a...
yeah, 1 Malignant Plaguecaster.
Is that a conversion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, slightly. A few bits off.
One ugly looking guy.
Yeah, Miasma of Pestilence and Gift of Plagues.
Okay.
Oh, the Demon Prince has Gift of Plagues as well.
Great.
3 units of Plague Marines.
1, 2, Sweet.
They all have a plasma, a blight launcher. The sergeants all have a plasma power fist.
That's a pistol? Do you mean?
Plasma gun?
Oh, so sergeants have plasma guns as well?
Yeah.
There's 2 plasma and...
A blight launcher.
Oh, of course, because you can upgrade them for free now, can't you?
Yeah, it costs anything. So.
Yeah.
And then there's a few melee. The rest is all WYSIWYG. So if they've got
Yeah, cool, that's fine. Well, we'll worry about that when it comes to it.
2 units of Blight Lord Terminators. Both. 2 units of 5. Both have a flail.
Okay.
1 unit's axes, 1's swords.
Oh yeah, that makes it very easy to see.
Death Shroud Terminators. So I've got 2 Lords of Contagion pretending to be Death Shroud.
They've been demoted, have they?
Yeah. The big guy at the front, he will have the extra relic.
Oh, the better size, yeah.
It's too good to leave out.
Yep.
2 bloat drones with flash mowers. 1 unit of blight haulers.
And you can't change them, can you? They've got no... They just come with the melter and the...
Melter missiles.
And then they have like a spurty thing as well.
Yes, the one I always forget to use.
Yeah.
And then the plate crash crawler. Entry cannons.
Yeah, obviously. And a big...
I'll put the Rot Hell Volleygun on it.
Volleygun. Okay. Right, well, we'll draw our cards and things and get the board set up and come back after that. Okay, we're set up, all our objectives, and we're deployed as well. So we're playing Vital Ground. And I'll just hold that there a moment for you to look at it. So I'm going to read it out. And then first battle round, and then you get points for killing stuff. This was our deployment. I've taken the dice off to show the deployment zones, but mine stretches from the middle to that corner, and then fills this where that drone is, down to where those blight haulers are. The mission rule we got was there's no additional mission rules, so that felt quite easy. Here are objectives. It's 4 in no man's land and 1 each deployment zone. You see my whole army is deployed. Armiger, 3 Questoris Knights and 2 more Armigers. Feels like it's best to try and hide, which is very sensible. Got a drone. There's a unit of Plague Marines back there as well. More Plague Marines just touching that objective. Marines, Demon Prince and drone. Blight Haulers, and then all the Terminators are in Deep Strike. And now we've got the fateful roll for first turn. 1, 5. I'm going first. And then I'm going to do my cards. Here's my CPs and my honour points. So I've got Investigate Sites. Might be able to do that, but probably won't. And I've got Battle for Supremacy, control more. Control more than the opponent, or control 3, I think, something like that. That's still quite easy. Behind enemy line, that's virtually impossible. I'm going to spend a CP to get rid of behind enemy line. So, didn't mean to cut out there. Don't know why that happened. So yeah, I'm going to spend a CP to get rid of behind enemy lines. That's going to be a really annoying one I don't really want to do. And I'm going to get Tempting Target. Okay, well, we'll see which one Phil chooses. Yeah. And we'll go from there. So here's movement. You can see all my knights lined up there. And then we'll go do some scary shooting. End of night shooting, turn 1. So these 3 all fired and took out that drone. And then over here, I took out 2 blight haulers.
Yep.
Blight haulers, and 1 on 5 wounds. I took 4 wounds off that guy, which is not bad. Spent CP on calculated targeting and thin the ranks for the Armigers, and I spent it on this guy. Actually, calculated targeting didn't do very well this time. Sometimes it's brutal, but not so good. But I got 5 points for Battlefield Supremacy, earned myself an honour point, and got 1 point for killing the drone. Okay, let's see what Phil's cards are. I'll come around so we can see it better. Or not.
Secure no man's land.
Okay.
Extend battle lines. Area denial.
That one's quite easy. That one, we'll have to measure. You might not do that, but that guy might be within 12.
Yeah.
That one's easy. All you've got to do is control 1 in no man's land, and you'll get that. Which you can get that one easily. That one, you have to control 2 in no man's land, which might be a bit trickier.
Okay.
Unless if you can, I don't know, because he's got objective secured. You'd have to get one of them onto there and kill that. That's objective because my armor does have objective secured.
Cool.
Okay, let's see what Phil does. So Phil swapped area denial and got overwhelming firepower, which is also going to be really hard to get, so he'll probably get rid of that at the end of the turn. Deathguard movement. See along there, Demon Prince is hiding. And Plague Mage just popped out. There we are. Great. Yeah, you got Psychic to do. And then shooting. End of Psychic shooting. So Psychic, you got Gift of Plagues off on him. And Miasma Pestilence off on the Blight Crawler after a reroll. Shooting was sadly uneventful. 1 wound off this guy and 1 wound off that guy. I rotated Iron Shield on this guy and I was really glad I did because all the saves I made were on the 4+ Invan, not 5+, so that was well worth it. But yeah, not a great shooting phase for Phil, unfortunately. Hopefully you can get this 9-inch charge off. Okay, end of Deathguard turn 1. So I didn't quite manage to finish this guy off. I did very well on my armor saves, basically, didn't I? I think against a Flesh Mower I saved 4. So I got 4 5s. Down to 4 wounds. I took 1 wound off the Blight Hauler in response. But unfortunately that means that Phil didn't achieve any of his secondaries. Is that what they call secondaries? Yeah, secondary objectives. They didn't quite get to there, which is a bit frustrating. But you got rid of everyone's firepower and you've kept the other ones.
Extend battle lines and secure no man's land.
Yeah, I think they probably are doable. But we'll see what happens at the end of night to turn 2 because there could be not a lot left. So Knight's turn 2, I got Secure No Man's Land, which I've already got. Storm Hostile Objective, which is impossible because the only one he's got is in the middle of his deployment zone. And Assassination, which is also probably impossible. But I haven't got very many CPs, so I'm not going to spend any to get rid of any. I'll just probably get rid of those at the end of the turn. And I got, I think, 3 points for holding mine and 5 points for holding. So about 8 points on my primaries. Sorry, 7 points on the primaries. I hold my objective marker and 1 or more in No Man's Land, so I get 7. So I'm just coming in at the end of Knight's turn 2 because it's just so much quicker and easier to do it like this. So you can see I kind of not much movement. This guy moved around to get in range of the Blight Crawler.
Plague Burst
Crawler. This guy moved up a little bit. He kind of shimmied around. This guy fell back. And I spent a CP so he could still shoot. Shooting phase. Kill both of those guys with a mixture of, I think, him and him. And he also killed a couple of Plague Marines. And this guy, he fired everything at the tank and took 6 wounds off. And then here, they killed 4 of the Plague Marines and then 1 ran away. And there's 1 Plague Marine left over there still standing. So I got my 5 points for Secure No Man's Land. I got rid of my other 2 objectives, and I got 3 points for killing 3 units. So on to Deathguard turn 2. Deathguard turn 2 cards. Obviously, you'd kept Secure No Man's Land and extend battle lines, and got Grind them down. Not ideal. So this is the movement. So 10 meters are dropped in. You can see the Blight Lords, Death Shroud. Blight Lords there. Blight Lords over there in the distance. The tank, I can't remember what it's called. It's moved right up.
Yeah.
And then Demon Prince has moved up to threaten here. Should be able to get Secure No Man's Land and extend battle lines, I reckon. Well, you've got extend battle lines already.
Yeah.
If you take this one or that one, you've got Secure No Man's Land as well. So that's not bad. I'll give you 10 points. Okay, on to Psychic and Shooting. End of Deathguard turn 2, Psychic and Shooting. So Psychic, you got a Miasma off on those Plague Marines, and you got a Gift of Plagues off on himself, which basically means that both of these two, with a few combinations of things essentially.
Flash Outbreak as well.
With Flash Outbreak, both of these two are -1 toughness, and neither of them can Overwatch. That's quite good.
Guy over there.
Or the guy over there.
Flash Outbreak on the Crawler.
Yeah, on the Crawler. So you can't Overwatch either. So in shooting, took down to 7. I remembered halfway through the shooting phase that I have a 6+ feel no pain. I haven't bothered going back obviously for the last turns and things, but I managed to even this guy, so he got down to 7. And this guy took 2 wounds. There's some really good spurting. He got like loads of wounds.
Loads of wounds.
And I saved all of them. And then basically the plasma took off 2 wounds off that one lone Plague Marine, and I saved the bolt guns. That's it. On to charges. Combat was much better, so Demon Prince took out the Armature very easily. Initially, Phil forgot that he could reroll hits and wounds and was like, God, you rolled like 1 wound and then suddenly remembered and you weren't going to kill him, and then you suddenly remembered you could. And I was sitting here thinking, I'm sure this was going to be easier. Thankfully, and I'm glad you did, because I hate it when things like that happen, remembered that he could reroll wounds.
It's usually when I'm driving home, I remember.
Yeah, took it out easily. These guys did pretty well. Got this guy down to 9 wounds, which is quite scary. Did no wounds in return. So Phil got 1 point for killing the Armature and then 10 points on 2 of the secondaries. So now we're on to Knight's turn 3. So beginning of Knight's turn 3, I got terrible ones. I got Grind Them Down, Capture Enemy Outposts, and the one I got before was Deploy Teleport Home was what I changed for Raise Banner, which is pretty much just as bad. Healed the wound on this guy and this one for being Mechanicus. Gave this one counts as 10. I'd debate it really. I think anything else I've got to do in this phase. Just onto movement and shooting. Okay, end of shooting. It was a bit lackluster. Like this guy missed or didn't wound. He only did 2 wounds on a Terminator. This guy didn't manage to kill that last Plague Marine by himself, and it took these 2 to kill those 5 Terminators, and I didn't manage to do any wounds on the Demon Prince. I did do calculated targeting to take out them, which definitely made a difference. So I got 1 on Grind Them Down so far. And yeah, time for some charges. So end of, so basically 2 combats over here. I did nothing. I did 2 wounds on the tank.
2 wounds on the tank. Crawler, yeah.
Did nothing on the Terminators. They saved everything. And they did 3 wounds in return and nothing return on there. So I didn't get any more secondaries. I've got 1 on Grind Down. I've got rid of Raise Banner and Secure Enemy Outpost. So I didn't get that many points that turn. I only got 7. I killed 1 unit, so I'll get 8. So I killed the Terminators.
Yeah.
Over there. Okay, on to Deathguard turn 3. So turn 3 cards. Let's just Grind Them Down from the last turn. Got Raise Banner and Blood and Guts. Oh yeah, so end of Psychic and Shooting. So Psychic got a Smite off. Did a couple of wounds on this guy. Shooting did 4 wounds, I think, altogether.
1 inch cannon, yeah.
On him. And 1 wound on this one. And that was it. On to some charges. Well, yeah, these guys are charging, aren't they?
Yeah.
So let's start on camera. Let's see if you can get your Demon Prince to get in. I'm not overwatching, so Demon Prince. He has to get in, doesn't he? Yeah. And the most important one is, can these Blightlord Terminators make their 8-inch charge onto this Armature? 6.
Reroll.
Okay. No, tragic. Holding objective, so this will do something useful, at least.
This Plague Marine's going to go in as well.
Okay.
Right.
He might be within 3. It's hard to see, but he might be within 3.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Right, on to combat. So end of Deathguard turn 3. Demon Prince killed the Knight quite easily, but I made him blow up on purpose. I'd saved my 2 CP, which killed the Plague Marine, took 6 wounds off the Demon Prince, and 1 wound off there, and 2 wounds off this guy. Armature managed to finish off the tank, which is pretty good. And over here, you took, I think, 5 wounds for that guy? 4 wounds for that guy? I managed to kill 3 Terminators, so I was pretty happy about that. So I got Grind Them Down, and I got 2 points for killing 2 things. Phil got Raise Banner and a point for killing the Knight.
Yeah.
On to Knight's turn 4. Here's my Knight's turn 3 cards. Again, these 2 are going to be really hard to do because I'm not within range of the middle. I have to be in the range of the middle, don't I?
Not hold the line. It's just your...
No, area denial.
Oh, area denial, yeah.
Yeah, probably not going to happen. Hold the line probably isn't going to happen. Because unless I kill... Well, if I can kill all of these things, then it will happen, but then I'll have 1 anyway, so it's very irrelevant. And bring it down, I've got to kill his Demon Prince, which I think is quite doable. And here's my movement. This guy shuffled around just so he can see the Terminators. He stayed still. And he's pulled out combat. He's just moved over a little bit. Actually, I might move him over. He got nice and close. These guys are dead. Okay, on to shooting. Okay, so shooting. This guy managed to kill Doom Prince, which is good. That got me to bring it down. And then pretty much everything else, well, this guy fired at them and didn't do very well. I didn't do anything. And then everything else fired at Terminators, and I managed to kill 2 and a bit in that one. I finished off that one guy there as well. On to charges, which is going to be obviously both of them over here. Okay, so end of night, turn 4. Just in combat, I managed to kill that Terminator. Did manage to do a couple wounds on the armature. So at the end of that, I didn't get every denial or hold the line, so I'm going to get rid of both of them. I got 2 more points for killing off those guys. And I'm virtuous for the first time ever. I started the turn with more objective markers than my opponent, so therefore I got a point. And I charged, because I charged 1 in first and the other one in, I got another one, so I'm actually virtuous. First time I've ever been virtuous with Knights. It's utterly irrelevant to the rest of the game now, but it feels good to be virtuous. So Deathguard turn was very quick. Managed to do 2 wounds on this guy, down to 1 wound, which was a shame. And that was it really. I just sat there. Miasma Pestilence went off on them. And that was it.
Just in the cards.
Can't remember the cards, so Phil's got...
Still had Blood and Guts, no retreat, no surrender, defend stronghold.
Do you want to get rid of Blood and Guts? Because you might get like a really easy one beginning of your next turn.
Yeah.
So you must get rid of that. Cool, we'll see what I get.
I've got anything left.
I haven't got very many left either. I got no retreat, no surrender. That's easy, because I literally can't fail morale tests. Overwhelming firepower, which I can get, but it's going to be tricky. And defend stronghold. Is that just
Stay where you are.
keep my objective?
Yeah, your deployment one.
Oh, okay, well I can do that one as well. Okay, well I can get a couple of those quite easily. Okay, on to my turn. Right, just coming in right at the end of the game now. I tend to just do the whole of the last turn all in one go. So my last turn, I don't know what cards I got, but
Defend stronghold.
defend stronghold.
No retreat.
I got no retreat, and I got something like one I couldn't get. I think Blood and Guts or something. Other than firepower, which I knew I wasn't going to get. Yeah. Anyway, these all moved up, and I managed to kill all the ones on there. And that was it.
Yeah, then I got no retreat and just my points.
So you got no retreat and then got the 4 points for that. But Phil's turn 5, he just didn't want to do anything because I wanted to do. So end of the game, Deathguard got 44, Knight's got 69. So considering that you've only got 1 unit left, it wasn't too bad on the points wise. No. We're saying, I think, I don't think you kind of made any bad decisions, and the dice rolling kind of flip-flop backwards and forwards. I had a couple of dice rolls where I got like nothing, and you had kind of the same, and everything else in between was kind of average. Yeah. As
I was saying, I was set up for turn 2 onwards. I lost too much in the first round. I needed to
losing a drone and 2 mythic blight haulers in turn 1 was a bit tragic. Yeah. Because that meant you'd lost like 2 multi-melters for a start. And missiles.
I was just hoping to hide for the first turn then.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd have been better deploying on this side. You could have hidden behind this one and this one. It's hard to say if you had more to hide behind this side or not.
Yeah, I was debating strategic reserves as well, wasn't I? But
yeah.
I was too lazy to work out the point cost.
But yeah. The interesting one, I enjoyed using my knights again. My war collected well. It's the first time we'd seen a battle, and he killed a tank by himself and helped kill some other stuff, so he did quite well. My knights kind of did what they're supposed to do. They just killed a lot of stuff, really. I was quite pleased because I actually thought I was going to have a bit of a disadvantage because these Avenger Gatling cannons being only damage 1, lots of my stuff's damage 2. I thought was going to really hamper me, but I think I had enough. That's damage 3, battle cannon, and their autocannons damage 3, which is good against Plague Marines. I was able to take out Plague Marines very, very easily, really. But also knights are just so tough. Like I took the 6+ feel no pain. These guys are -1 damage until they've got bondsman on them.
And you're healing.
Healing 1 a turn, starting with extra wounds. It was a real effort for you to kill anything, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it just seemed to take a lot of effort to kill stuff. I mean, it took a lot to kill that knight. It took, a charge from a whole load of Death Shroud Terminators, plus and then a Demon Prince. And even just to kill that one armager down here, it took a turn of shooting from Mythic Blighthauler and then a charge and a drone.
The drone, and then the Demon Prince still had to finish that one off.
He had to finish it off. And then this one, he still didn't manage to kill after shooting it in the point blank range with a tank.
Yeah, I should. Well, yeah, because he kept healing up and then feeling no pains.
Yeah, so they were just hard to kill. Hard to kill. I quite like the feel no pain on them. It's an easy one. I think I prefer it actually to the one I normally use, which is House Raven, which means I can advance and shoot. I think I prefer actually the feel no pain. But yeah, that's it. It was good. Nice to do a bigger report actually again. We've done a lot of 1,000 points.
Yeah.
But yeah. I wouldn't do 2,000 points if it wasn't nights on a weekday. Because my turns are really quick.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't do a 2,000 point Dark Angels or something because we'd be here till 1 o'clock in the morning and we can't do that on a weekday.
I fall asleep after 11.
But as well, it's good fun to roll some dice or some fun bits like the Demon Prince killing that knight and then it blowing up.
Yeah, that was annoying.
But yeah, all right, we'll leave it there anyway. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.